Maayong adlaw, kamusta? This is Ben from Philippines Extremes, coming to you live outside of Cebu City in Baubao, Cordova. Now, listen, guys, this is going to be potentially a controversial subject, but I've been receiving a ton of emails. I kind of got myself involved in the mix of it loosely, and the emails that I've received have been prompting me to speak out, and I don't really know what effect I would have on it, being I'm just a small fry in a big, huge pond. Um, but let me tell you what happened, okay? There's a channel called World Zoom, and a lot of my subscribers actually watch his content also. Um, So, I guess in a sense, this can be a message for some of you guys. I'm sure you're already aware of it, but there's a channel out there now that's doing exposés on what they call expat trash. Okay, check it out. It's called Expat Trash of the Philippines, and they make some pretty cool videos. They use artificial intelligence, and it's pretty neat. But yeah, it's called Expats Trash in the Philippines, and they're really calling people out. So whatever I do is going to pale in comparison. But evidently, a few people see. What happened was I discovered this channel, and I made a few comments on there about it, about the videos, and about World Zoom, and about Jasper in the Philippines, and so I was basically bombarded with emails from people on there saying, "Hey, you have a channel. It's up to you to say something to expose these people because the people that watch your channel might not know about it, and it's good, for the community." So I'm involved in the community, even though I'm just a little guy. So okay. So if you don't know the story, World Zoom, his name's Paul Cardwell. So Paul Cardwell came into the Philippines, and his channel just blew up. What he did was he went around to all the bigger YouTubers. He got on Filipina P, he got on Old Dog New Tricks, and he got on Every Man Has a Story. And he went on there and he told his life story, which, he was a CEO of hospitals. He made a lot of money. He was, high profile career, and, really polished himself up to be this big, huge, successful guy. So, of course, everybody, was really attracted to him. He got a lot of exposure going on these channels, which of course, is a good technique. And that's why I wanted to go on Every Man Has a Story, but that all fell through. I went to Dumageddon and never heard from the person. So it all fell through. But, I tried it too. So I'm not, sliding in for that. However, he had a motive. So turns out that Paul Cardwell, World Zoom, was actually a criminal. He was, in fact, in charge of hospitals, but there's more to the story. Turned out he embezzled over $1.7 million from these places, and the money was intended to go to kids for surgeries who didn't have money for the surgeries, and he was embezzling all the money. He got caught and fled the country and came to the Philippines. Or no, sorry. He went to Thailand. And over there in Thailand, he was living the high life. And eventually the Thailand government caught him, and he was extradited back to the United States, which resulted in him getting 10 years in prison. Okay. So he was in prison. He got a 10-year sentence. However, his cellmate admitted to him a bunch of crimes that his cellmate committed, and Paul Cardwell negotiated with the authorities to exchange that information so that he could get released early. So essentially, he narked or ratted out his cellmate. And in doing so, they reduced his sentence and he got out. Okay? So fast forward, he comes to the Philippines. He blows up a channel. He's, touting, all, his accomplishments and all his achievements, and really making himself out to be, just a really successful, great guy. Well, every man has a story, got suspicious, and did some research on him, only to discover that everything that he said was a complete fabrication. All right. So they got embroiled in this back and forth. Paul Cardwell, World Zoom, did a rebuttal, said, admitted that it was true that he had stolen all this and came clean. Now, if you watch it, he came clean with a lot of half-truths. And, a lot of people are patting him on the back because, he paid his time or whatever. But what they're not realizing is, it reminds me of like in the 80s with the religious preacher scandals, like Jim Baker, he blew up also. He was making millions and millions of dollars. And it turned out, he was a scammer and cheating on his wife, and got busted, and he had a fall from grace. And then there's also like Jimmy Swaggart, who was huge, and same thing. He had a fall from grace, and what happened? He lost all credibility, and everybody stopped paying attention to him, and he, went bankrupt. Whatever. They tried, but it wasn't as nearly successful, and nobody trusted him anymore. Now, what I find interesting is that, man, I'm really sweating. It's hot today. What I find interesting is that, Paul Cardwell, World Zoom, came on his channel and he admitted loosely, his discretions, and he actually gained traction from it. But what people don't realize is, he came out under false pretenses. He told half-truths, to admit his errors. And he's really an untrustworthy person, yet people are still trusting him. His channel is still growing, and people are giving him respect for coming clean. But he didn't really come clean. I mean, yeah, he admitted that he was a scammer and he stole $1.7 million from poor, sick children. But he didn't admit that. He said he never got blacklisted and all these things, which he actually did. You can Google it. And he played it all down. And people still admire him for it. And the argument is, well, he paid his dues to society, now he's come clean. And why should he have to admit, things that he did in the past, because he paid his dues, but he really didn't even pay his dues. He ratted out his cellmate to get out early, he making all these efforts to avoid his consequences. And then he comes here and he lies to everybody. And if you watch his interview on Old Dog New Tricks, the guy is a fantastic liar. I mean, he embellishes everything. He says he was in Thailand and he was doing all this charity work. And the reason why he got caught was because he wasn't allowed to really work in Thailand. And so they extradited him, or so they kicked him out of the country, when really he was extradited for his crimes back to the United States. So, again, I'm sure this is going to stir up controversy. I might even lose subscribers because they're going to think I'm being judgmental. And I'm not being judgmental, but evidently, people think that it would be beneficial to the community if I also speak out on this. So I am, and it could be to my detriment. I don't know, but The guy's track record is sleazy, felonious. He's a con artist. He's literally a con artist. And so he sits down in front of the camera and he's giving you guys all this good advice as though he's, coming from a good angle when really he's not. He's coming at this at an angle, saying the things that he thinks will resonate with you just so he can grow his channel and pay for his lazy lifestyle. When he never really paid his dues, he conned his way out of that, and he's conning everybody else on here. Now, check out Expat Trash in the Philippines. They have a fantastic video detailing all of this stuff way better than I could ever say it, and it'll show you exactly in better detail of the things that I've said. And I think if you watch that video, Expats Trash in the Philippines, your opinions might change a little bit. So I don't know why you guys follow him. And then there's that Jasper in the Philippines clown. I mean, his channel is nothing but softcore porn. And it's not wholesome. It's not respectable. He treats Filipinas as though they're, sex objects. And he's just disrespectful, using profanity throughout the whole thing. The clickbait boobies and you name it. He's selling Philippines as though this is Fantasy Island. And we all know, if you follow me, there's way more to the Philippines than just the fantasy and the play. It's not what the Philippines is about. You're missing out on all the great things that come with it besides the women. The women it's a great aspect of the Philippines. However, that's not the only thing that is about the Philippines. There's much, much more to it. You're far removed from all the negativity. You're far removed from, the politics and everything, that bogs you down in the States doesn't exist here. So if you're a man of morals and faith and desiring, growth, you can really change yourself, your attitude, and everything. The Philippines has that, frees you up to be able to work on yourself, not to come here and to perpetuate and treat the women as though they're, nothing but objects. I don't understand why Jasper in the Philippines resonates with anyone. And Expats Trash of the Philippines also has an expose on Jasper, and it's well-deserved. I talked about Jasper in a couple of my videos about the clickbait boobs and all those things, and it's really astounding to me how his content especially resonates with so many people. He's selling he's selling the Philippines as though it's Fantasy Island. I made a video, and that's exactly what I said. And I didn't refer exactly to Jasper, but I said a lot of these bloggers are selling the Philippines as though it's Fantasy Island. And in some ways it is Fantasy Island. And you can come here and you can take advantage of people, of the women, and sow your wild oats if that's your true intentions. But, not to be preachy or anything, but people need to evolve. And you're not a moralistic person if you're coming to the Philippines for those types of reasons. You only have one life to live, and you're being distracted by all the joys of the world, which in the end are going to cause you suffering, because in the end, everybody talks to God. And if you're going around taking advantage of everybody and you're living a life of sex and trying to make, every penny you can, and those are your idols, in the end, you're going to fail miserably, and you're going to regret all the chances that you had that you didn't take to better yourself. So as you're clicking through and watching these videos of Jasper and World Zoom, just remember the source and think about yourself. Is that how you want to be? Truly? Do you truly want to be that kind of person? Do you respect those kind of people? Just ask yourself that, guys. So thanks for watching. Evidently, this was, supposedly going to help the community, which, I don't see how. But World Zoom And Jasper in the Philippines are two vloggers that I personally think you should avoid for multiple reasons, of which I stated in here. So go check out Expat Trash in the Philippines. Thanks for watching this, and have a blessed day.
Savior, he can move the mountains. My God is my